Hi, Joel. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome, and how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very happy to speak with you today about your new product, D3K2.
I'm always excited to talk with you.
Yay! So, can you tell us a little bit about the product?
Well, for people who don't know, essentially the easiest way to think about it is K2 enables D3 to do its job.
Hmm.
And it's much more than that, but that's it encapsulated in as few words as possible.
Okay.
It The scary thing is we have this vitamin K2, which virtually no one knows about. It is by far the least known of the vitamins. But despite that, it's probably the most versatile vitamin out there,
Hmm.
touching essentially every human organ. Like let's let's list them: lungs, kidneys, cardiovascular, liver, mouth, pancreas, bone, skin, it joints, brain, eyes, muscles. It's insane. It
Wow.
touches everything. And on top of that, it is one that you need so little of to get effective doses. We're talking, you can get an effective dose as an adult in as little as 30 micrograms.
That's very tiny.
It's ridiculously tiny. It's insane, but there's some key things about it though.
Hmm.
First, you have to know it comes actually in two different forms. There's MK7 and MK4. And normally, if you're talking like vitamin C, for example, it doesn't really matter which form you have. They're
Hmm.
equally good. Yeah, one might be buffered, one not, but they're pretty equal that way. But with K2, huge differential, huge differential. Like as I was saying, with the one we use and the one that's most often used is the MK7 variety,
Hmm.
where for example, I was saying it's 30 micrograms daily. With MK4, it's 180 milligrams. So
Wow.
it's ridiculous how much more you need.
Oh, wow.
MK7 lasts in your body over 72 hours. MK4 only lasts one and a half.
Hmm.
MK7, your body can convert to MK4 if it needs it. MK4 can't be converted. And MK7 is incredibly bioavailable,
Hmm.
whereby MK4, very little is actually absorbed, which is one of the reasons you need so much. And the main difference is, and why it's MK7 versus MK4,
Hmm.
it's just the molecule length.
Okay.
Four is a shorter molecule, seven's larger. That's one of the reasons your body can convert seven to four. It can lop off part of it and
Hmm.
make it four. And now you know me, you know I'm a nut for clinical trials. I'm a massive clinical trial geek. I admit it openly. It's a disease. I'm getting treatment, but
It's a good thing
I
to geek out on, though. It is. It's a good thing.
but I admit I'm getting treatment for it.
Mhm.
I have read probably over the past, let's say 3 to 4 months, over 500 clinical papers on vitamin K2.
Oh, wow. My goodness.
It is so well researched, it's ridiculous, and no one knows about it. But here's the cool thing: most actives, and I'll call them actives, be them herbs, vitamins, minerals, or just phytonutrients.
Mhm.
Most of them out there, if they have a pharmacological effect, so if they actually do something, you normally have to worry about overdosing, taking too much, essentially safety issues. Now, the problem is when you look at something like K2 that does so much, first thing that goes in your head, okay, 30 micrograms is basically the base therapeutic dose, and you can go higher
Mhm.
depending what you're trying to do. But where do you get the safe? Where's the safe limit? And here's where K2 just completely and utterly won me over. Just completely won me over.
Okay.
Researchers they tried for months to come up with an upper limit, to
Mhm.
basically find the level that would start causing harm. They gave up after they did essentially a dose over 100 million times that. of a therapeutic dose.
Holy.
They gave up.
Oh
And
gosh.
oh yeah, in all the stuff I have ever read in my entire life that's clinical research, I've never heard of that happening. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you think about it, like water, the therapeutic dose, for example, of water, something we consider to be ridiculously safe, is about 3.7 liters for an adult.
Yeah.
The level that causes harm is 6 liters. So you think that's considered a fairly narrow safety range,
Mm-hmm.
whereby you look at this, you got 30 micrograms versus over 100 million micrograms.
That's incredible. I've never heard of that actually, not being able to reach that upper limit. Um, you're so passionate about the product, and I can, I can understand why. But in terms of like people out there, what kind of benefits will they see, and how long will it take them to see those?
Well, here's the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
It depends what you're trying to use it for. And let me
Okay.
explain that by going into some of its uses. For
Okay.
example, immunity is a hot topic right now,
Yes.
and lung health specifically. So,
Mhm.
what K2 does in the lungs is there's a protein in the lungs called elastin. It's also a protein found inside your skin.
Mhm.
And if you pinch your skin and then let go, and your skin returns back to normal, that means you have enough elastin and it's in good condition to do that.
Mhm.
Elastin, elastic, that's where the name actually comes from. Now, what happens is as we age, the elastin in our skin and in our lungs degrades. And that's one of the reasons people who are, let's say in their 70s, they go to pinch their skin, it doesn't return back the same as it did before they pinched it very quickly
Mhm.
because the elastin's degraded. The same thing actually happens in your lungs.
Wow.
Only in your lungs, it's much more important because your lungs need to expand and contract and expand and contract for us to breathe.
Yes. Yeah.
What vitamin K2 does is it actually preserves elastin, and at the same time, it actually takes elastin that has already degraded and slowly reverses the degradation.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So if you're having trouble breathing because of elastin, which is one of the reasons, it's not the only, but it's one of the reasons you can have trouble, it actually can reverse it over time. That is something that will take time. That's not going to be a fast thing.
Mhm.
However, some of the other stuff, like if you're looking for heart health, what K2 does for heart health specifically is it scavenges your arteries and your, excuse me, it scavenges your arteries and
Mhm.
it also scavenges your blood vessels for deposits of calcium.
Wow.
And calcium in that area, what it does is it actually deposits and that hardens your arteries. It causes arterial sclerosis.
Mhm.
At the same time, it actually creates a place for fat deposits to um, to stick. Because if there's no calcium, there's no way for the fat to deposit there, which causes blockages, heart attacks, strokes. So
Mhm.
what K2 does is it actually scavenges and pulls it out of there. It gets rid of the calcium from your circulatory system, but even better, it activates the protein that puts it into your bones.
Oh, that's amazing.
So what it does is it actually activates two proteins. One that scavenges, called matrix GLA protein,
Mhm.
and the other one, which is called osteocalcin, which
Mhm.
is responsible for putting calcium into your bones. And that's one of the ways it works hand in hand with D3 to make D3 work better, because D3 we know, actually all vitamin D's, not just D3, vitamin D helps calcium get absorbed. Now, the problem is if you're helping it get absorbed, you're still not telling it where to go.
Right.
So K2 tells it where to go and puts it in the right place.
Hmm.
And that they have seen results. And of course, the degree to which you have calcium deposits will affect this. But they've seen results in as little as 8 weeks.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's
But,
incredible.
oh, yeah. I told you this stuff amazes me, but it does even more.
Mhm.
It I don't care what life stage you're in, what health level you're at, K2 will help you get better, live healthier, and live longer. And when I say that very specifically, because one of the types of clinical papers out there is what's
Mhm.
called a clinical review. And what they do is they actually take multiple studies, aggregate them, and create a set of reviews for a set of studies, a nutrient, a therapy, etc.
Mhm.
And if you look at a prominent review that was done, I think about 4 years ago, 3, 4 years ago, on vitamin K2, MK7, they concluded, and I have never in my life read a conclusion like this from a clinical review. Essentially, what they said in the end is supplementing with vitamin K2, MK7 on a regular basis will enable you to be healthier and live longer. And you have to understand, clinicians don't say that.
No, no, and it's the dose would be 30 micrograms again?
That's what you want to start with, depending
Okay.
what you want to do. For example, there are other things like diabetes, you
Right.
want to go a higher dose.
Okay.
Cancer,
Oh,
obviously a significantly higher dose.
yeah.
And that's one thing I haven't touched on is cancer.
Mhm.
What how K2 works with cancer is startlingly cool.
Mhm.
What it does is it actually activates a set of enzymes. This second, I can't remember the name of them, but this class of enzymes, what they are responsible for is cell replication,
Mhm.
aiding it, and also for cell death. They help regulate that.
Mhm.
So by activating these specific enzymes, you inhibit the ability of cancer cells to replicate and you hasten their death.
Wow. That's good. That is amazing. I have always been so very interested in cancer treatment as a homeopath, a fledgling homeopath. I wrote a paper on the homeopathic treatment of cancer.
I
And
did not know
yes, yes, it's out there somewhere.
that. Well,
But
you'll
yeah,
appreciate this.
I do very much so.
And when I first said that to a friend of mine in the industry, he goes, "Yeah, but okay. So which cancer are we talking? Breast cancer? Are we talking prostate cancer? Are we talking colon cancer?" That's the amazing part. Most therapies that are effective or adjunct therapies that are
Okay.
effective only work on one set of cancer cell lines
Mhm.
or one type of cancer because cancer is a general term, as you know. It's a general
Yes.
term that basically describes cells that have run amok,
Mhm.
essentially. But there's a big difference between, for example, prostate cancer cells and breast cancer cells and liver cancer cells. The intriguing thing about this is
Mhm.
K2 has actually been studied, I think it's now a total of 12 different types of cancer and had an effect on all of them
That is fantastic.
with the safety profile. And that's the thing I kept coming back to is it's
Yeah,
doing this and it's safe. Oh,
it's fantastic.
and there's even more. And I feel like a huckster on oh god, where they're selling those things at 3 in the morning on television. But wait, there's more. But there actually is, and the clinical evidence shows that vitamin K2 also activates a set of proteins, and these proteins have really hard names to remember: C, S, and Z.
Mm,
And these three proteins work in tandem in your body to control coagulation.
okay.
And that you make a okay, coagulation, blood clotting, but it
Mhm.
actually is much more important than that.
Mhm.
Think about it. If you have the right balance of these three, when you get cut on a, say for example, you cut your finger while you're chopping vegetables,
Mhm.
it'll bleed a little and then it'll coagulate and it'll stop. Done. Everything is fine. And that's what most people think of when they think of coagulation. But there's one thing much more sinister with coagulation is
Mhm.
when your blood thickens while it's still in you,
Oh my.
making it harder for your heart to work,
Yeah.
making you more likely to have heart disease, more likely to have blood pressure issues,
Yes.
more likely to have strokes,
Mhm.
more likely to damage other organs like your kidneys, your lungs, your pancreas, your liver. All that can happen also if coagulation goes amok. And
Mm-hmm.
what they found is vitamin K2 helps keep it normal.
Okay.
So it helps prevent all that. It's by no means a cure. I don't want to make it sound like I'm showing this miracle juice that's going to cure everything that ails you.
Mm-hmm.
But what it does is it helps put us back to where we should be by activating all these things that should have been activated in the beginning.
So I'm wondering, in terms of if it does that, puts it back to normal or puts it into the space where it should be. I'm thinking about things like hemophilia.
Mhm.
Have there been studies with that? Have you seen any
There,
studies?
there have been studies on that. I will be honest, I
Mm-hmm.
have not delved greatly into that
Mm-hmm.
specific aspect yet. There's just so much other things I've been reading.
So
Um,
interesting.
I will look into that more. Thank you. But I do know there have been studies. I just haven't researched them to any
Mm-hmm.
great extent.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. So, yeah, I mean, this sounds like a fantastic product. And how do you take it? Do you take one drop a day? Is it one drop, 30 micrograms, or?
Well, what we did is with our product specifically, we wanted to do, because it's a product that,
Mhm.
excuse me, because it's a vitamin that should be taken by everyone in your household, we
Mhm.
didn't want to force people to have one for grandma, one for mommy and daddy, and then one for the teenagers and one for little kids.
Mhm.
Instead, what we did is we dosed it whereby one drop would be for kids up to age 8 a day, 2 drops for children from 9 to 18, and then 4 drops for adults at any age.
Fantastic. That's a
So,
great way to do it, actually.
and what we did is to make sure that everyone could still afford it and make life
Mhm.
easy. We did not a bottle of 30 ml, so it has 900 drops in it.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
we want.
highly cost effective too. That's amazing.
We tried. We really tried. Well, it's one of those things. As I learned more about it, more of
Mhm.
my friends and colleagues started to get onto it. So we wanted to make it so everyone could get the benefits of the two
Yeah.
together, the vitamin D and the vitamin K2.
Yeah, because of course we need vitamin D.
We
Maybe
do. Oh yeah, don't want to minimize vitamin D.
no, no. But so everyone can use this product, and everyone should be using this product just to maintain or um, improve their health.
Oh, definitely. And part of that also is we wanted to make it as accessible to as many people as possible. So it's certified organic, it's gluten free, it's
Yeah.
kosher. It has no soy, and you do have to be careful because some forms of MK7
Mhm.
are actually manufactured from soy. Ours is not. We did that to
Okay.
make sure there were no allergen issues.
Fantastic. And
Yeah.
what is the base again? What is the oil base?
Well, the oil base in this one, we tried to do a base that would be good and not have to worry about GMOs. So what
Mhm.
it is, it's organic sunflower oil,
Okay.
safflower oil, and MCT oil from coconuts.
Wow.
There's no flavoring, there's no coloring, there's no fragrance, there's no preservatives. We tried to go as clean a product as possible so that the maximum number of people could enjoy it.
It sounds fantastic. I can't wait to try it actually.
Well, I can tell you, I've been on it for a while, as of
Yeah.
my whole family, and we have no complaints.
Excellent. So positive testimonials?
It's relatively new to the market.
Mhm.
We've only had it on the market now about 3 months, 3.5 months. So we're just now starting to hear back from consumers. The ones we have heard, and I'll be honest, it's not voluminous at this point in time, but the ones we've had heard is people like the fact that it's clean. They like that it has virtually no taste. And they like the fact that they can have multiple people in the household having it and not have to have multiple products. That's what they like about it.
Fantastic. And I'm sure it takes a little bit of time to see the effects, the positive health effects from the product.
Well, it
Mhm.
depends on, as I said, what you're using it for.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're using it for just bone, like if your primary purpose is bone health,
Mhm.
you could do it in between your bone density tests. So you have something there. If it's
Ah.
for heart health, you could do as far as your blood flow tests.
Mhm.
Um, Diabetes, it reduces your risk. and it helps blood sugar regulation and insulin sensitivity, but that's not something we can feel.
Right, right, exactly.
Yeah, so it just depends. And lung health, the problem is they find out about lung health and they can tell about the elastin. Unfortunately, they have to tell using surgery, so you don't want them to be able to tell.
Oh, that is true. That is a good point, Joel.
Certain things we're happy to just say, yes, the clinicals say it works. That's good.
Yes, yes, exactly. So you've spoken about the safety of it. So there are no contraindications again with medications or anything.
Well, the only thing we would say with that one
Mhm.
is because it does have an effect on blood clotting and
Mhm.
coagulation, anyone who is on anticoagulants for
Ah,
should definitely, it's not a no, don't touch it. It's talk to your doctor first.
okay.
Let them know, guaranteed, if you're talking to a cardiologist or someone of the sort who would be prescribing you anticoagulants,
Mhm.
guaranteed they know about vitamin K2, and
Mm.
all they'll do is they'll monitor you and adjust your medication accordingly.
Mhm.
But
Good.
definitely talk to them first. I'm a I'm a firm believer and firm advocate that you want to be sure that nothing messes around with prescribed medication.
Absolutely. Better safe than sorry, right? Mm.
Always.
Excellent. So where can we find these products?
Well, you can find them. They're starting to trickle into local health food stores.
Okay.
Um, you can also find it at your favorite Loblaws or Loblaws affiliate in their natural health section.
Oh, sweet.
And you can also find it on our website, which is Pure Lee Natural, Lee with an LE, naturalstore.com.
Fantastic. Any final words before we end off today?
The biggest thing I would say is that it's one of those vitamins, K2 specifically, that I would request everyone try and learn more about,
Mhm.
because it's something that is so versatile and so important and will make a difference in everyone's life, that
Mhm.
it should be right up there in your mind with vitamin D and vitamin C as something that you need to take daily to just keep your health.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, I'm happy with that. That sounds amazing. It sounds like it's gonna do very well, and always a pleasure speaking with you, Joel.
You as well. No, nothing but joy. Nothing but joy.
I learn something every time I speak with you. So I learn lots of things every time I speak with you. So fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I do appreciate it. And I learn from you as well every time. Something every time.
Bye now.
Bye bye.